No, Indie Left, what is happening here?
To check out IndependentLeft.news.
The Indie News Network.
Indie Left News.
Oh, hey, Indie Left.
IndependentLeft.news. Great work.
Indie Left News.
IndependentLeft.news.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News. Shout out.
Oh, what's up, Independent Left?
Friend show.
Thank you, IndependentLeft.news.
The INN, Indie, you're wonderful.
I think Indie was onto something.
Independent News Network, Indie News.
Yeah. What's up, Indie, over on Rockfin?
Independent News Network, also known as INN.
Indie Left News.
I don't know if I would have made it through that 3 weeks without Indie, honestly.
No, I was just going to ask Indie.
A huge thank you and shout out to Indie Left.
No, you know what we're doing? We're world building, Indie.
Indie Left News.
You were doing the INN recruiting.
Indie News.
Independent Left News.
Shout out to Independent Left News.
Check out Independent Left News.
At Kennedy News.
I see Indie's in the chat. Hi, Indy. Okay, great. Bye.
Hi, everybody. It's Hot Mike Indy, and it's Reef. What's up, dude?
Yep.
Wow.
Not much, man.
Mr. Energetic over here. Yeah. That.
Yep.
Don't go back and listen to that, folks, because I have no idea what the hell I just said. Thanks, Dr. Dick.
Look, just because you drink 1.5 gallons of coffee every second doesn't mean you're literally like does your I mean, I know your coffee roast is Colombian, but is it that Colombian?
Oh man, it's bouncing off the wall for sure. All right, I'll admit it. All right, I'm pumped up to do this tonight for sure. All right, let me minimize that so Reef doesn't see me surfing Twitter while we're doing this. It's Sunday night and we've got family here. Yeah, Kid had a great interview yesterday with Dr. Cornell West. We had a couple people in chat. Miguel and I were tag teaming on the moderating, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. We had some interesting characters there to handle and to deal with, and that wanted to change the conversation, but kept it focused. And Kid asked some good questions. You see, hang on, let me put up the thing about pineapple and pizza. I saw something about that. Yeah, he's pineapple and pepperoni. Pineapple and pepperoni on pizza. That is his preferred together. The sweet and the spicy, and I could totally see that. And I'm surprised that that's not Curtis Mayfield's favorite kind of pepperoni pizza, you know. Yeah, you know, Dr. West, he's great. How can you not love Dr. West? You know, he's not going to be president, and that's probably a good thing because for a lot of different reasons. But if he runs green, he's got my vote in New Jersey. I'll tell you right now. Miguel H., good morning, Sunday morning over on the Rumble. We are on Rumble, both on INN and on Indie Left Media for Rumble and for Rockfin and for YouTube, and we're on Telegram. We're on everywhere, and we'll tell you that in a minute. But all right, give me a second.
The actual fuck?
One whole second, 2 seconds.
There you go. All right, going dark.
3 seconds.
Right. Fuck it, we do it live. All right, so welcome everybody to How Do We Miss That?
We'll do it live.
How Do We Miss That is a show featuring articles written by independent journalists who expose corruption, cover workers' organizing, and environmental crises while challenging corporate establishment narratives and talking points. New episodes stream live Sunday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, on all of our channels: YouTube, Rumble, Twitch, Rockfin, Substack, Facebook, Telegram. And then we got a podcast usually published within a couple days on Spotify and iHeart, Amazon, Apple, Google, everywhere. Give us 5-star rating there. I'm Indy, I'm co-host, and I am the founder and editor of the Indie Media Today Substack. I am the creator of the Indie Media Awards, and check that out on Twitter and everywhere else, IndieMediaAwards.com. Co-host of American Tradition with Jesse Jett on INN. Producer for Bread and Circuses for INN. Executive producer for the Politics of Survival with Tara Reade on INN. And we're going to talk about Tara Reade later on tonight. Associate producer for the Misty Winston Show on TNT Radio. Yes, I help her book stuff and help her with her Substack. So, associate producer. Then I got this guy sitting next to me. He's Reef Breland. Actually, he's sitting underneath me on the mobile, but next to me there. Hey, what's up? He's waving. He is the technical director for INN and a co-founder, as am I. Creator, engineer, and co-host of INN News. Producer and stream engineer for the Politics of Survival with Tar Reade on INN. And producer for Bitch with Comrade Misty, which is also going to be on INN. Both of us are co-founders of Indie News Network. That's INN, but we keep saying INN, a collaborative family of independent content creators.
INN.
INN. How about that? INN. Find all our channels on indienews.network. I believe like Indie News or INN.network also works, by the way. So you can actually go to INN.network and it'll go there. Make sure to share this link, like the stream, subscribe to the channels on wherever you are and watch and listen. We are everywhere, and Reef is very busy setting something. Oh, he's setting up Boncam right now. Hey! And it's Boncam. Here, let's go. Big single on Reef. With the fisheye lens Boncam. I love it. Nice.
Oh, yep.
There you go. All right.
See if that works.
Nice. We don't do singles very often, but figured let me try that. I end and end. Nice. Appreciate that. Like, share, subscribe. All right. So we have our generic thumbnail. Let's go to that. All right. That's our AI, our new Reef versus Indie thumbnail. Like everybody calls it the gamer thumbnail for whatever reason. Very funny. Love that. So we got some stories tonight. Okay, so first story that we're going to get to is CJ Hopkins. I love CJ Hopkins. So let's go back here. Take that off. Go back here. And let's go back here. He did something really cool this week. He did something really cool this week. Last week. He went to London. Now he lives in Germany. Traveled to London, and they went to an event with Matt Taibbi and Michael Schellenberger, and Russell Brand was on stage. And so he's going to talk about that, but he's also going to talk about the real reason why he was in London, which was even more fascinating. So let's get to CJ's article, which is Fear and Loathing in the City of Westminster, cjhopkins.substack.com. Check that out. Oh, Gamer Oz. What's up, guys? Hope you're feeling better, Oz. All right, so you have all of the Mickey Mouse, similar faces in the crowd. But he says, our descent into City Airport was like the dropship scene in the movie Aliens. The BA City Flyer Embraer 190, a narrow-body twin-engine airliner, rolled over in a 40-degree bank and started bucking like a mechanical bull. Stimulated chimes began chiming frantically, and flight attendants bolted for their seats. The German businessman in the seat beside me, obviously a nervous flyer, immediately adopted the brace position. I gripped his shoulder reassuringly and shouted in his ear like a drunken redneck, "We're on an express elevator to hell, going down!" Fucking love this guy.
Mayday, mayday.
And so began my latest trip to London. This time I wasn't there to talk to the left or to hunt down endoparasitoid xenomorphs, which he had done before. I was there on serious conspiracy theorist business, which I explained to the chirpy MI6 operative posing as a survey taker that followed me out of border control, asking questions about my nation of residence and my experience with the passport scanners, and so on. She was wearing one of those rubber Mission Impossible masks that made her look like a middle-aged British woman, and funny. As I waited for an opportunity, head fake, juked right, lost her in the crowd. And as I entered the arrivals library, I turned and shouted in her general direction, "Not my first rodeo, Mr. Phelps." I don't know what was up with all this shouting. I've been experimenting with different types of medication for the sinus condition I've had for months. My sinus specialist diagnosed me with long or possibly permanent COVID, or some yet to be named debilitating syndrome caused by some other bioweapon that produces cold and flu-like symptoms and has a survival rate of 99.8%. So maybe it was a bad reaction to my meds. Whatever it was, I was feeling jumpy. So good. And the climate change apocalypse didn't help. Emerging from the tube in Westminster was like walking into an enormous open-air sauna. Bodies were lying all around on the sidewalks. AFP photographers in hazmat suits were taking pictures of the carnage. Herds of corpulent American tourists staggered through the streets in semi-fugue states, sweating profusely and thumbing their phones like an invasion of alien albino hippos trying to call up their UAPs and arrange for immediate emergency extraction. So good. I pushed and shoved and elbowed my way down Todd Hill Street to my pod hotel, checked in, and proceeded to hopelessly get lost in the maze of identical Kubrickian hallways that eventually led me to my luxury pod and cleaned myself up for the night's festivities. He's literally describing like dystopia in the future. It's great. He says, what was I doing back in London in the middle of a heat wave? Well, okay, I'm allowed to tell you about it now. As you're probably aware, Michael Schellenberger, Matt Taibbi, and Russell Brand were doing this public event last Thursday. So this was actually part one of it. I believe is available on Rumble right now. Really, I can't wait to see the other half of it. He says, but that's not really what I was there for. Not that Thursday event wasn't fun. It was, despite the rather pricey tickets. There was a good-sized house and spirits were high. Right? Russell Brand was in top form, pouring out torrents of intellectual free association like an English Neil Cassidy and nailing the punchlines of all the jokes. Michael was also firing on all cylinders, and he worked the house like a seasoned politician, whipping the crowd into a veritable frenzy of anti-totalitarian fervor. Stella Assange took the stage at one point and briefed us on the official crucifixion of her husband, which sadly now looks like a fait accompli. Matt.
Yep.
Free Julian Assange. Matt, who had just made it to London that morning and was so jet-lagged and deliriously sleep-deprived, dispensed with the speech he had rewritten on the plane and just winged it and somehow pulled it off because that, as they say, is showbiz. And that's Matt, because he's ridiculous. Here's the money part of Matt's speech, which he paraphrased in London, emphasis mine, which was, quote, what Michael and I were looking at was something new, an internet-age approach to political control that uses brute digital force to alter reality itself. We certainly saw plenty of examples of censorship and deplatforming and government collaboration in those efforts. However, it's clear that the idea behind the sweeping system of digital surveillance, combined with thousands or even millions of subtle rewards and punishments built into the online experience, is to condition people to censor themselves. Yeah, powerful. So early the next morning, Michael, Matt, and a secret cabal of international journalists, editors, political satirists, academics, and other very serious people whose names I'm not at liberty to mention, gathered in an undisclosed location and spent the better part of the day sharing harmful misinformation and strategizing about how to defeat or marginally disrupt the network of governments, intelligence agencies, global corporations, NGOs, and so-called disinformation experts known as the censorship industrial complex. There were delegates from the United States, United Kingdom, Ireland, Germany, Italy, Spain, Brazil, Australia, New Zealand, Italy, and other nominally sovereign countries. This heretofore clandestine meeting was conducted in what appeared to be a World War II era air raid shelter, right?
And 7 years ago,
a World War II era air raid shelter that had been converted into a private BDSM club under the military level OPSEC protocols, i.e. the meeting was conducted according to
use that they still use that alarm though at the BDSM club.
Yes, they certainly did.
That one, that air raid.
That's that the meeting was conducted according to the protocols, not the architectural conversion. So it's not a BDSM meeting. No. I'm not entirely sure why that was. We weren't doing anything even remotely illegal. However, given that I'm under criminal investigation here in Germany for tweeting the cover art of my book and the IRS's sudden interest in Matt and Kit Clarenberg's recent experience in Luton, perhaps the abundance of caution was warranted. Last thing we needed was the UK thought police goose stepping in like Basil Fawlty and dragging everyone off to room 101. So good. Like, so snarky and hilarious, and yeah, poke him in the eye. Anyway, that's what I was there for. I had never met most of the people in attendance except online on the double encrypted Russian-backed dark web conspiracy theorist channels where we hatch our right-wing extremist plots to defend people's rights to freedom of speech and engage in other harmful anti-democracy behaviors. I'm still not sure who I actually even met in London, as we were all wearing identical Mickey Mouse masks and speaking through portable voice modifiers. In any secret meeting like this, you have to assume you've been infiltrated.
Wasn't a Nixon mask in there? Come on, bro.
I'm not a crook.
Yeah.
Right? After the obligatory arguing about the agenda, we settled in and shared our country reports, which, so unsurprisingly, were all variations on a theme. I won't go into all the details. Michael Schellenberger's nonprofit has been tracking these developments. Matt Taibbi and Racket News are reporting it. Other alternative media outlets like ours are reporting it. Millions of people around the world are talking about it, writing about it, and arguing with each other about it. Your Twitter feed is probably full of it. Alex Guttentag just published a huge article about it. So what exactly is what is it exactly that is going on? Well, the thing that was horrifying about listening to my colleagues reporting on the state of things in their countries, or rather, the thing that should be horrifying but is becoming a mundane fact of life, is that more or less the same totalitarian program is being rolled out in countries throughout the world. The censorship, the official propaganda, the criminalization of dissent, the pathologization of dissent. I probably said that. The pathologization of dissent. The manipulation of our perception of reality. The coordinated transformation of the world into a smiley-faced neo-Orwellian police state in which politics no longer matters because society's been divided into two basic classes, i.e. the normals, who are prepared to mindlessly follow orders, right? The normies, who are prepared to mindlessly follow orders and parrot whatever official narrative propaganda they're fed, and the deviants or the extremists who are not. Seriously, all satire aside, think about the implications of that. As you sit there in whichever nominally sovereign country you're sitting there reading this in, ask yourself, how and why is this happening? And then ask yourself, why is it happening now? If you do not have answers to these questions, it might behoove you to attempt to come up with some. That is basically what I've been trying to do in a satirical and sometimes not so satirical manner in these Consent Factory essays for the last 7 years. I'm not going to summarize it all again here. I've done that repeatedly in my essays and books. I did it last time I visited London to give a talk at the Real Left conference. I think we covered that and talked about that when he wrote an article about that too. I did it again at this gathering in London, and it did not go over all that well. The thing is, most of us are laser focused on the trees that we cannot see the forest. But our adversaries see the forest. They see the forest like fucking eagles. They own the fucking forest and everything in it. While we hop like squirrels from tree to tree, distracted from distraction by distraction, from limited hangout by limited hangout, they're building a big fucking fence around it all and deploying the forest ranger, whatever the hell they're called. That guy's called. Somebody with German would be able to.
Sturmbeton.
That's right. That's a good one. I'm not even going to. I'm not going to try to butcher that one. So
God bless you.
So CJ says, I'm reminded of that infamous Karl Rove quote, and he was referring to the USA, of course, but it was really global cap, i.e. the corporatocracy that he was really speaking for, whether he knew it or not. That's not the way the world really works anymore. We're an empire now, and when we act, we create our own reality. And when you're studying that reality judiciously, as you will act again, creating other new realities, which you can study too. And that's how things will sort out.
This guy sounds high.
Oh, dude, Karl Rove was the worst.
And we're in one reality, man, and we got like two realities within a reality, man.
Dude, Karl Rove was the architect of the Bush administration. He created George W. Bush. So he says, we're today's actors, and all of you will just be left to study what we do. He says, so CJ says that if we don't want to end up studying that reality, the global pathologized totalitarian reality that is becoming subtly and not so subtly implemented simultaneously in countries throughout the world, at some point we'd better come up with some actual answers to those questions above. The supranational, globally hegemonic, post-ideological system of power that runs our world, whatever you need to call it, has answers to those questions. It has a story. It has a story about a beneficent global empire governed by authoritative scientific experts who are trying to save the world from whatever and protect everyone from disinformation and harmful speech, ideas, and so on. And like every good story, it has an antagonist, us. We are the official enemy, right, left, libertarian, anarchist, Islamic fundamentalist, Christian fundamentalist. It doesn't make one iota of difference. There's only the empire and those who oppose it. The empire does not give a shit why. Basically, it is conducting a global clear and hold operation, wiping out internal resistance and establishing ideological uniformity. It could not care less what you think you believe in. All it wants is mindless obedience and rote repetition of its propaganda. That's how totalitarianism works. And there I go with my story again. If anyone has a different story that makes sense of my last 7 years, and arguably the last 30 years, honestly, I'd love to hear it. My story fills me with fear and loathing. But the only other coherent story I'm hearing at the moment is the Empire story, and I think we all know how that one ends. Actually, I'm not really sure how that one ends, but it's probably not going to be good for any of us. I can tell you that for sure.
He could have thrown a disestablishmentarianism in there to really trip you up.
He almost did, but so he had to add like a sub thing. So he says some readers seem to be a bit unclear about the nature of the story I referred to in the piece. It's about the history of the post-Cold War period, the early 1990s up till now. And he presented an extremely condensed version of it at a conference in London in April, and here it is again. And there's the link. Again, we covered that. We read that article about the new normal. So in order to understand, so he quotes from that about, from the article, and then he says, let's see, after that, yeah, it's all just a quote from that article.
Intramural competition.
Yeah,
I mean, we've been kind of saying this though. This is like a lot of this seems like, and I think we've both said this to each other and others multiple. Like, it's not necessarily that it's these fancy conspiracy anything, or it's really just corporations doing what corporations do, except they've all made a front, essentially, of the 1% that are willing to have the rest of us die off, as long as they're going to be all right.
Well, so, they also have bought off the government, and now you've got these massive hedge funds, these consolidated organizations like you're talking about, Vanguard, BlackRock.
Yeah.
And then it spreads out. It's
the World Economic Forum.
Well, and then beyond that, you've got the Council
for Inclusive Capitalism.
Well, more than that is the Council for Foreign Relations. The CFR is really at the center of all of that. I don't know if you've ever seen that graphic, that the World Economic Forum and all these different things basically branch off of that. Censorship industrial complex gets close to it.
A new world order. A new world order. The Illuminati.
That's right, Dave Burt. Crazy shit over on the Rock Fan. Thank you. Good to see you over here. Mouse H. Mouse SF. That's who I was talking about. Zombie in the air. What's going on? Infuriating that normies buy this misinformation crap. It is crazy.
Zombie in the air.
Oh, Juan Alba. Hola. What's going on, man? Welcome. Robert Templeton, how are you? Good to see you over here. Good to see everyone. .com. Less of a squirrel, more of a lemur. Yeah. I love it. All right. So, we have got a couple of labor stories, and everybody loves the labor stories. That's kind of our thing over here at How Do We Miss That? Is one of the things we talk about. We talk about labor and workers. We talk about environment. We talk about corruption and censorship. And we're going to talk about a lot of that tonight. So, nurses are going on strike.
It's all about geometry.
It's all about geometry. Okay. Hell of a trance. All right, so nurses in California and Texas are going on strike. So, wait. See? Let's try that again, folks. For the editing reel, nurses in California and Texas are going on strike as Reef is coughing his brains out. I love it. Nurses in California and Texas. Hey, did you hear the nurses in California and Texas are going on strike?
I might have. At least 3 times.
So, National Nurses United. Sorry, we didn't break the indie. Nurses in Texas and Kansas.
Slightly.
Oh, sorry, it was Kansas, not even California. See that? I was back on last week's stories.
We weren't in Kansas anymore.
I thought not, but nurses in Texas and Kansas moved forward with historic strikes resisting Ascension union busting tactics. So we've got nurses, and we love nurses. Shout out to our wonderful nurses. Delilah Barrios actually was a nurse in Texas. I think she has since left the nursing profession, and it's one of the reasons it's a grind. And what you're going to hear here is one of the reasons why. So 2,000 Ascension nurses started striking on June 27th. It was supposed to be for one day, and it turned out that it wasn't just for one day. But 2,000 Ascension nurses will strike on June 27th for strong contracts to combat healthcare giants' unsafe staffing practices, which we've also been talking about for a long time, but not as much lately. We've been talking about East Palestine and other environmental disasters, but this is also a real crisis, what's going on here with our nurses. So RNs in Texas and Kansas at 3 Ascension hospitals are moving forward with...
Then what?
The what?
Then what did you say? You said not the thing that was written. You Freudian slipped there and said cannabis. But I digress.
Did I really? Come on.
Yes, you did.
No. I think you
absolutely did.
I think you Freudian heard it because your name is Reefer.
Can the members in chat confirm that I'm not crazy?
Yeah, type 1 if you heard cannabis. Type 2 if you heard Kansas. Registered nurses.
I think you flubbed one of those.
Nice. Registered nurses in Texas and Kansas at 3 Ascension hospitals are moving forward with historic one-day strikes on Tuesday, June 27th. The protest management's resistance to bargain in good faith with RNs for union contracts that would help correct the endemic staffing crisis, which was announced by NNU and NNOC. Right, driven by their concerns about patient safety, these will be the largest nurse strikes in Texas and Kansas history, which is why I wanted to talk about it.
Yep.
Negatory. See, Gaybert says that I did say that, and Desert Manta says no. So let's see. Somebody's going to have to clip it now. If I did say cannabis, that's great. Texas and cannabis is awesome.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Ascension Management's punitive 3-day lockout of nurses who go on strike has failed to intimidate them, which is what they did after, and they actually did that.
Just rewound. Can confirm it was cannabis.
Nice.
See, I'm not crazy.
I love that you heard that.
That's
You
very
who?
funny.
Who? Oh yeah, Council of Foreign Relations. Yes,
That's
Dave
my
Bird.
job.
2,000 between the two states. Right. Yes, that is. Yes, 2,000 registered nurses at these 3 hospitals. Correct. There is now even greater momentum and motivation to speak out and demand management and negotiate first contracts with its RNs to improve the health of their patients and communities. Management's retaliatory threats are despicable, but union nurses won't give up our fight. Union nurses won't give up on our fight for our patients, says Chris Fuentes, a registered nurse in the neonatal intensive care unit at Ascension Seton Medical Center in Austin, or Ascension Seton. Ascension's dangerous staffing practices disrupt our ability to provide quality care and put our patients at risk every day. I love hearing that from a nurse. This is a clear sign that Ascension would rather use its vast resources to delay improvement than to invest in the care our patients and our communities deserve with appropriate staffing. So they talk about a timeline of what had happened. And this was some of the stuff about the strikes. The strikes come after Ascension repeatedly dismissed nurses' solutions for patient safety during contract negotiations, including their proposals to enforce safe staffing and improve nurse recruitment and retention. That seems like it helped. So Nicholas Whitehead, who's an RN in the surgery unit at St. Francis Hospital, he says of the hospital chain, Ascension management is shortchanging its nurses and patients. Ascension doesn't pay federal taxes because it's a nonprofit. So while they claim to provide spiritually centered holistic care, nurses' experiences reflect the reality of Ascension's hypocrisy. Wait a minute. They're a nonprofit? Okay, well, let's see what's going on.
We're nonprofit.
We've covered nonprofit hospitals. We've covered nonprofit hospitals shafting workers before, but not necessarily shafting their executive board. So let's see what's going on here. Ascension's own mission to sustain and improve the health of individuals and communities. Yeah, right. So in the past year, Ascension nurses have made history creating some of the largest private sector nurse unions in states with laws hostile to worker organizing. That's pretty substantial. Driving the surge of unionization at Ascension is the blatant hypocrisy of the nonprofit Catholic hospital chain, one of the nation's largest, that has $19.5 billion in cash reserves, an investment arm that manages $41 billion, and a private equity operation worth $1 billion. $1 billion. A private equity operation from a nonprofit Catholic hospital chain. I don't hear your Catholic. I don't hear your Dr. Evil sounds if you're playing them. Chronic short staffing. Yeah, that was a little low. But chronic short staffing imposed by Ascension Hospital Management, which is a practice that began well before COVID pandemic to boost profits and executive compensation, of course, makes it challenging for nurses to provide the highest quality care to their patients because it drastically limits how much time a nurse can spend on each patient. Short staffing also creates a revolving door of nursing staff who suffer moral injury and distress because they can't provide the care they know results in the best patient outcomes. That's kind of what happened to our friend Delilah. Nurses are patient advocates at the bedside, and when we need to be, on the strike line. And that's an RN in the ICU at St. Joseph's Hospital, Carol Samsel. Union nurses are ready to stand united against these conditions, which are driving away both veteran nurses whom we need to ensure the highest standards of care, but also new graduates who are necessary for the sustainability of our profession. I mean, it's really a crisis. So the latest data from the BLS and National Council of State Boards of Nursing shows that in Texas, Kansas, and across the country, there is no nurse shortage. In fact, in Texas, there are nearly 128,000 RNs with active licenses who are choosing not to work at the bedside, while in Kansas, a much smaller state by population, that number is almost 20,000. Nationwide, there are more than 1 million RNs with active licenses who are choosing not to work at the bedside because of the hospital industry's unsafe working conditions. And more data and information debunking the nurse shortage myth can be found at this link, which you can find at nnu.org, nationalnursesunited.org. We'll put that in the description afterwards. So they're going to talk about just how badly Ascension has been profiteering. So The conditions driving Austin and Wichita nurses to take unprecedented collective action at their hospitals are part of a broader pattern of Ascension negligence and greed. This is really important because nurses don't want to strike. Nurses want to care for patients. The last thing these nurses want to do is go out on strike. Like, this is literally a last resort for them. They feel like they're not being listened to and they literally have no other choice. So, not only these actions a direct contradiction to the directives of the U.S. Conference of Catholic Bishops for Catholic Healthcare Organizations, they've garnered the scrutiny of local and national news media and state and federal regulators. So they've got investigations from November 21 and December 22, a couple of them, 2 separate reports in January 23 from Milwaukee. I think that's the one that we showed with disruptions to patient care, long wait times in the emergency rooms, delayed surgeries, staff concerns about patient safety. And remember, there was like one where they had no nurses like for 24 hours because of the handoff in business from one company to the other. There was some kind of a sale or something, and everyone got laid off, and then they had to be rehired, and it was a whole mess. All right. Lawsuits. And a February later to their CEO by Tammy Baldwin called into question their nonprofit status and mission-driven values. Yeah, but they didn't actually do anything about it but a strongly worded letter. And here's where, holy crap, look at how much money this nonprofit is sitting on right now. $19.5 billion cash reserved as of June 2022. That's a year ago. They've only accumulated more money from there. All right. They also got a ton of pandemic money. They're going to talk about that. All right. So at Ascension, Seton, you had 900 represented. And again, you have all their stories right here. 650 at the Christie St. Francis, another 300 at Christie St. Joseph. National Nurses Organizing Committee, and I'm not always the biggest fan of National Nurses United, only because as a union, they already endorsed Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, which I thought was ridiculous that they just rolled over like that. I'm going to call them out on that, but they need help. These nurses need help. NNU has 225,000 members nationwide, which is crazy because if there are 128,000 registered nurses in Texas, how many are there across the whole country? 40,000 in Kansas. That's already 225,000. All right. NNU affiliates also include California Nurses Association, DC, Michigan, Minnesota, and New York State Nurses Associations. So I don't think they represent all nurses, but they're one of the largest unions that do represent nurses. They're vocal. I love that they're standing up for nurses here. Oh, I got to call one other thing out, by the way. Let me go back to this real quick. This picture. What is up? What's wrong with this picture, folks? There's a date. There's a date above it.
Yeah, this is winter. It's like July.
It's like July.
Yeah, they don't look like June.
And what's up with that? Gloves, hat. You could not find any. You could not find any organizing shots from before.
Where was that strike at?
This one, I'm guessing, was in Wisconsin.
Texas?
This is not in Texas.
Well, then maybe.
I'm guessing that this is Wisconsin from the wintertime because they're not wearing hats in June striking. And what's funny is a lot of the nurses' pictures.
Those hospitals are cold. The hospitals are just freezing. That's how it works.
The other thing that I thought that was really funny was it's 2023 and a nurse is wearing a cloth mask. Like, not even a paper, surgical mask. Okay. All right.
Yep.
All right. I thought these are supposed to be the medical professionals. Sorry, folks.
Yep.
Had to call that one out too. All right, so that was just funny that I saw that. But there were some inspiring worker stories this week, and
she's wearing her summer mittens,
right? All right. Unions everywhere, and we like unions everywhere. We should have unions everywhere. But what am I talking about? Let's go back and let's get to right. This was in Truthout, which is an Indie Media Award honoree. That is not the sound that we're used to hearing for that. I don't know what's going on with your soundboard.
Yes, it is.
That's
literally that sound.
That's not what I just heard. I hear bzz, bzz. I think it's accelerated. Are you at like 5 times speed? Are you at like 5x speed, dude?
No.
Okay. So something not right with that. All right. So let me go back here. Let's get to our historic article here about, in a historic first, workers unionize at 2 major farmers market nonprofits. So it's like happening. It's happening. This is in Truthout, like I said. Ella Fassler, despite providing essential services, wages and benefits for these workers lag far behind those of other city workers. So you've got our farmers market workers. That was at Plant Masters in Columbia Heights, DC. So Colin probably has been to these. But this year, workers from Grow NYC and Fresh Farm, 2 sustainable food access nonprofits in New York City and the Washington, D.C. metro area, respectively, formed unions. Workers who support and organize farmers markets, compost programs, and other initiatives will begin collectively bargaining for higher wages and job scrutiny in the coming months for the first time in the history of the industry. So in New York City, it all began last spring with a few informal conversations during a period of organizational turmoil at Grow NYC, which is, I've never heard of, a nonprofit that makes about 70 green market.
I think I have.
They organize about 70 green market farmers markets. City's composting program, food box programs sourced from local farms in lower income areas, educational programs about zero waste and community gardens and more. Wow. And their jobs aren't easy. It sounds like they're not. Farmers market workers set up and break down tents. They manage the EBT food stamp system and ensure that busy markets run smoothly, sometimes working 12-hour days. Individual vendor tents are run by farmers and distributors, not Grow NYC. Compost drivers wake up at dawn to navigate notoriously difficult streets of New York City. Yeah, well, the later they have to go, the more traffic they have to deal with. All right, so they are workers who are providing essential services to the city. And that's one of the compost site coordinators who was involved in the early stages of unionizing. And they are receiving money to city money to provide essential services. That's awesome. It's easy to look at MTA workers or sanitation workers who are doing really similar stuff and look at the benefits that they have compared to what these people have. It's very easy to see that they're being exploited. My answer is wrap it into one of those other organizations. That way you can pay them the same. But in addition to discussing exploitation, some workers talked about how management lacked an understanding of day-to-day realities on the ground, a problem typical of many hierarchical organizations. Yeah, we've certainly talked about that here. Others lamented their seasonal or part-time status, right? Look, in hierarchical status organizations, horizontal organizations seem to be better, but somebody's got to step up and lead at some point. And I'm not sure exactly how that works. Somebody has to be like designated as the leader by every
diagonal. How about diagonal? We go with diagonal.
Well, then there's
instead of horizontal or vertical.
Circular firing squad, right? There's that type of yeah. So some people have the opinion that it's not going to be useful to have police at the markets, right? And we need something a little bit better when it comes to dealing with security. And that's for sure.
Yeah.
Right. These discussions quickly evolved into
Hell's Angels probably would do a better job.
Well, first they talked about security, then they evolved into more formal meetings with the intent of unionizing, and more coworkers were invited to the meetings, and it's just grown and grown and grown to the point where we have a super majority of support, and we outgrew the space where we were meeting. We've been having larger meetings every week. This is organizing. Wow, folks. Like actual workers getting together every week, dedicated to working together and, getting more out of, in this case, the city. So Citra Bowman, who's a Grow NYC education and engagement lead in the Zero Waste Schools Department, she told Truthout that workers approached her about the union in February of this year, and she was immediately interested, especially in light of management's rejection of her and her coworkers' request for a pay raise.
Yeah.
Unreal. So she was also thinking about the benefits that she has as a full-time worker in general, and how some of her coworkers in other departments don't get those benefits because of their part-time status. So on April 25th, only about a year after Hotchkiss and his workers started organizing, nearly 200 of Grow NYC's employees, which is the overwhelming majority, sought voluntary recognition of their union through the RWDSU, which is the Retail, Wholesale, and Department Store Union, which is the same union that organized the Amazon Alabama workers last year and recently won election filings at 3 Barnes & Noble stores and 3 REI stores. Well, my guess is that Barnes & Noble isn't going to be around much longer, but that's my own guess, personally. I hope that they are, but
Alabama.
For those workers. But yes, Alabama, as you love to say. After 24 hours passed without the union receiving voluntary recognition, workers filed for a union election with the NLRB. So while Grow NYC's president and CEO Marcel Van Uyen said that the nonprofit would accept the union in a statement, it also hired the infamous union-busting firm Littler Mendelsohn. Wow.
Yes.
I'm having a tough time.
Littler Mendelsohn.
Littler Mendelsohn.
Did this? There's.
Thanks. And for a couple of weeks, it was unclear whether a struggle was on the horizon. So shortly after releasing the statements, Grow NYC disputed its employees' characterization of their jobs, according to the New York Times, and claimed its lowest paid worker earned $20 an hour, not $19, as workers had said. Van Uyen makes $270,000 a year, according to tax filings from the nonprofit. Okay? So then on May 16th, Grow NYC workers announced that their union had won recognition. Cool. Workers at Grow NYC will begin bargaining their first contract swiftly as a result. Companies at any time can voluntarily recognize a worker union. Doing so expedites the process of union representation and the pathway to a union contract. I mean, that's the key. And somebody was actually saying on Twitter that it takes an average of like over 400 days from the time that a union election happens till a first contract is negotiated with the company usually. Just months prior, Fresh Farm, which is the nonprofit in the DC area, went through a similar process. So now you've got a template for this. On February 8th, 23, about 25 farmers market workers announced the formation of a union with the UFCW, Local 400. Right? Fresh Farm's leadership did not interfere with the organizing process, and workers will collectively bargain for better pay and more job stability, according to DCist, which is kind of a Libby magazine, to be honest. But they also do some really good investigative stuff. We've covered a couple of their articles over the years on, God, it's already been, we're coming up on our 2-year anniversary at the end of the summer, folks. So both successful union drives come at a time of resurging interest in labor organizing. The NLRB reported a 53% increase in election petitions from fiscal year 21 to 22. So we see that, and according to Gallup's most recent poll, 71% of Americans approve of labor unions, right? Which is the highest recorded figure since 1965. That's awesome. Great. Approving of them is one thing. Actually, like, organizing to join them is different, but nonprofits are among the industries seeing increasing election filings, with workers often citing low pay, overwork, and undemocratic workplaces. In some cases,
they've been exploited, non-profit. Like, I mean, it's almost like it said it above. But Zordon, it's okay. It's gonna be all right.
Telegram. Telegram.
How do I ignore? Do not disturb. There we go.
So in some cases, progressive employers, TYT, weaponize their own organization's charitable mission. No, they don't. They're not charitable. Against their own workers in attempts to sabotage organizing. Right. Well, we're a nonprofit. Don't make us pay anymore, because then we won't be able to have as many people. We won't be able to provide as many services. They start to hold you hostage. Many young people organizing their workplaces are not only seeking better material conditions, but also democratizing their workplaces, sometimes altering the nature of their work. At White Electric, which is a cafe in Providence, Rhode Island, workplace demands for racial equity in the wake of the George Floyd uprising led to a unionization effort, which eventually resulted in the workers taking over the cafe and transforming it into a co-op. Hell yeah.
Good.
Bowman said influencing the direction of the nonprofit is part of a bigger conversation that has been brought up a bit in the union. Yeah, that'd be good. We're thinking about our mission and how we can help support that mission and make it more sort of profound and really community-oriented versus something that's top-down, said Bowman. I like hearing that. All right. So many Grow NYC workers are passionate about food justice and hoping that unionization will help them better serve this mission. And they said they took on this job because they're passionate about the environment and food access and wanting to serve better, to better serve people. This is Menjivar, right? And as I was only able to do so much with what I was given, I have a better outlook on the future and also on the job of being able to serve people better. I mean, really, they're practically volunteers. I mean, they get paid, but they get paid a lot less than all these other city workers. So shout out to all these organizing. These are farmers market workers that get paid, but they're getting paid less than other people that are delivering services to seniors and to other, to EBT eligible folks. So it's possible that labor organizing at Grow NYC at Fresh Farm will spark a national trend within the industry. Let's hope so. Many other U.S. cities have similar organizations. In Boston, Farmers Markets supports more than 200 markets, advocates for increased grants that support fresh food access, and manages 3 farmers markets. So there's all these different co-ops or sustainable economic enterprises, and Green City Market in Chicago, and Heart of the City Farmers Market. I had no idea that there were like they're nonprofit. Okay, so Heart of the City is managed cooperatively by the farmers themselves with the mission of making fresh food accessible for low-income customers. That's incredible. So despite popular support of unions, the portion of workers who are unionized, just 10.1%, is a record low. That's the thing I wanted to talk about, which is that, like, we're all hot and bothered and everybody's excited about unions, but 10.1%. Man. We could unionize Amazon or Walmart.
What about the 10%?
Nationwide. That's the goal. We've got to get one of these top level mass employers to organize and unionize across all their facilities and all roles. And that's going to be hard. I mean,
yep.
Already you've got Amazon, you've got Teamsters in some facilities, you've got RWDSU in some facilities, you've got Amazon Labor Union, you've got SEIU, you've got there's another one, the one in North Carolina, Amazon Cause. And those are just the ones that we know about, that I know about myself. And I'm sure there are others. I'm guessing AFL-CIO is probably trying to do something with them as well. So it's all the major labor organizations are trying to help organize Amazon. But what they're not necessarily doing is bringing it all together. I know that the Teamsters, for example, have made it a concerted effort to organize the drivers for Amazon and the pilots for Amazon and the transportation workers, for example, but not necessarily the office workers or the warehouse workers. And then you're going to be pitting union against union within the organization, and that's when you have real problems. And I think that might be the goal of the neoliberals, of government, of not only that, it creates a level of middle management infrastructure across all of these unions that all have different, interests and different primary interests. It's really complicated. Obviously, What do you think, man?
Labor, like it just seems. Well, I mean, I know you know what I mean. It's just like terrible. Like, where are their tactics? Like, you know what I mean? Like, what is big labor doing? What are they doing? Where are they?
Yeah. Well, RWDSU was helping these guys. So you've got some big labor involved, but that's their local. That's the local. I don't know how much involvement they're getting from national and how far down the chain this flows. But RWDSU also began representing 12 workers at a Long Island vineyard, which is the first farm workers union in New York State. 2 years after that law was passed, which is the Farm Laborers Fair Practices Act. Farm Laborers Fair Labor Practice, FLPA, from New York State. It is illegal for farmers to unionize in most states, for example. Did you know that?
I'm sure Monsanto has written all those checks.
Wonder why. I guess that could technically create a monopoly on food if you have a union
brothers.
But if you have a union of actual farmers that could control the bananas market, for example.
Sure.
So, the orange market.
I don't know.
But Grow NYC sees itself as part of these larger agricultural struggles. Right? They see workers at Trader Joe's. They see workers like the United Farm Workers who have also been organizing.
What the farmers in Netherlands, in the Netherlands, have been doing, and the Dutch farmers, and that kind of like unionization effort of them.
They've been protesting the government and getting arrested.
If you can call it that. Yep. So.
Wait, what? The block list? Somebody's on a block list somewhere? Check out chat. I don't know what's going on over there. Okay, so, I
don't either.
So instead of 1 day left, now they have 1 day left, but it's like less than that. They have hours left to raise $12,000, and I hope they do it. Truthout is a really important outlet. There was another unionization story that I have here real quick, that Loma Linda University medical residents are voting yes on a union. So unionization is happening across all different industries and different types of workers that people hadn't even really thought about unionizing before. And that's something else that I wanted to point out as a part of this story. That they won after years of hard work. They finally did it. All right. That in the culmination of a months-long organizing effort, resident physicians at Loma Linda University Health, that's LLUH, and that's which they say throughout the rest of the thing, they voted to unionize on June 22nd. And that historic vote is the latest chapter in the most prominent recent showdown between a Seventh-day Adventist healthcare institution and organized labor. So we talked about the nurses at Ascension. Here's another one at Loma Linda University. Again, using the religious nonprofit. According to the NLRB, the final margin was 361 in favor and 144 against. Approximately 2/3 of the 805 eligible resident physicians submitted a ballot. So after years of hard work, they finally did it. That's awesome. So the outcome is not yet certified and is subject to review, including in federal court. And you can be sure that Loma Linda and the Seventh-day Adventists will try to stall and drag and do all the union busting tactics that everybody else does and likely challenge that as well. Let's see. Organizers first collected enough signatures. So, they have to do cards and collect cards in February. But LLUH, like I said, challenged the effort in court and in NLRB proceedings. Throughout a 12-day hearing in March and April, they made their case to the NLRB that medical residents are students rather than employees, and that as a religious education institution, it can't be forced to negotiate with a union. Is that like how they had to throw out the money changers from the church? Is that literally what they're saying here? Wow.
Maybe.
In a separate lawsuit against the NLRB, beginning in federal district court and later appealed to the Court of Appeals of the DC Circuit Court, LLUH made similar arguments, but on May 25th, a panel of 3 judges denied their request for an emergency injunction and expedited appeal. With the court declining to intervene, the union vote was set to continue. So that's from Portside, also a good outlet. During the lead up to the election, LLUH continued to try and convince residents to vote no. And they said that voting for the union is a yes vote to giving away your voice to a union with no experience dealing with private religious educational institutions. That's what one union busting brochure said. Right, quote, are you leaving a legacy or years of legal issues? Wow. Interviews with Spectrum, who picked this up via Portside, or who Portside picked this up from, right? Residents in favor of unionization have cited long hours, poor working conditions, and low pay as motivating factors. LLUH increased the benefits package for residents in early this year, which is a move that some have said was too little too late. Literally too little, and definitely too late. Their religious status has also been a key element of the labor hearings and court cases. The institution cited writings by Ellen White against unions and elicited testimony from the Adventist leaders about the church's historical anti-union stance. Why? The union countered...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yep. The union countered that medical residency programs don't require participants to be members of the Adventist church or promote any specific Adventist teachings. Okay, so then why do they get nonprofit status then? According to one document shared during the NLRB hearing, less than 20% of the approximately 800 residents are Adventist. I'm not surprised. Are there 800 resident Adventist residents across the entire country? I would guess probably not. Maybe in a country of 300 million, but I don't know. A corporate restructuring in 2012 has factored into these arguments. The Loma Linda University Health Education Consortium, this is where it gets really legal and businessy, and I don't want to get into all this, but they formed a separate legal entity from the medical center and the rest of the university. Right, so past legal cases have granted stronger religious freedom claims to educational institutions rather than healthcare facilities. So this now is its own, a health education consortium. So yeah, it's now considered like an educational institution. So that's one of the reasons why they separate that, is so they can get away with that nonsense.
We gotta keep them separated.
Man, so this month, 2,500 residents and fellows at Mass General Brigham, which is one of the largest programs, voted to form a union also. That's awesome. 10,000 members in the last 2 years have been added to the Committee of Interns and Residents, which is the largest resident union in the United States. So again, we've got medical residents organizing. We've got farmers market workers organizing. We've got nurses that are already organized that are walking out and starting to really demand change from their employers. And I think they're going to get it. I mean, unless those hospitals can find a way to hire scabs, yeah, they're going to get it. Because where else are they going to get these qualified nurses? They need to provide care. And the good thing, actually, in this case, for capitalism, is that these are for-profit corporations and that all these executives want to retain their jobs. And if people aren't working and the company's not making money, guess what? They're going to end up losing their jobs in the end. So they've got to get this fixed.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Coffee?
Yeah. No, actually, that wasn't because of coffee. That was because I was just looking at the time and I realized that, wow, we're running late. So, damn. All right. So,
coffee.
Coffee and damn, we're running late. All right. So, we're done with this story. Damn you.
Okay.
I know, likey. You're mean.
Damn you, Tom Cruise.
Damn it. Help me, Tom Cruise. Help me,
Tom Cruise.
Help me, Oprah Winfrey. I'm on fire.
I'm on fire.
I'm on fire. You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby. Oh, my God.
Why wouldn't you just say you'd eat the tiny pancakes?
Oh. You're all
Thin
wonderful
pancakes.
people. Rick Solis is laughing at my coffee. Yes, everyone. I'm hopped up on Mountain Dew. I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew.
Can someone actually like go back through all of our shows and every time you hear Indy say right after he drank coffee, all the little coffee pauses, if you could do that for me and then put that into a video, that'd be great. Thanks.
Is Joe
TPS
watching?
support.
Can somebody drop a link on Joe? He'll be happy to do that, I'm guessing. You know, he did the Misty one. We're fucked. We're fucked. We are fucked. We are wait, who? What?
We're fucked.
Yeah. So the next story, because we do need to get to a next story, is one of my favorite Substacks. Follow the Money is what it's literally called. It's called
Lebowski.
Yeah, the Money Lebowski. And I really enjoy this Substack. It started out from like Grit Alpha or some other one that it started out from like the Epstein
Grit
trial.
Alpha.
Right? It started out as like the Epstein trial tracker. Then it became like Grit Alpha and it started reporting on
I vaguely remember this. Kind of. This is the one that like everyone was like weird on, right?
Originally, it was a Twitter account and an Instagram account, and then it evolved, and now it is called Follow the Money. So what Follow the Money does, and I've been shouting this publication out on Substack Notes. Follow us on Substack Notes. This is on Substack at the Follow the Money Substack. followthemoneynews.substack.com. And this breaks down the infrastructure bill. But the other thing that it does is it looks at stock buys by Congress and major figures like cabinet members, as well as lobbying. Who's been donating the most to lobbying over the last 90 days? Now, I asked this guy, Matt Allen, I've requested, hey, could you also indicate who's gone up or down and if that has changed and by how much in the lobbying donations? And we'll see if he obliges. But so he breaks down the infrastructure bill and says, so what's actually in President's Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, the IIJA, is a historic piece of legislation that'll invest $1.2 trillion in the nation's infrastructure over the next 8 years. The bill includes funding for a wide range of projects, including roads, bridges, public transit, broadband internet, water infrastructure, and clean energy. I remember over 8 years. So $1.2 trillion over 8 years is about, what, 150 billion a year, not even 120 billion a year. So basically one Ukraine every year, in this case, for our roads and bridges. So people have been saying like, hey,
a partial, you could fit 8 of these inside the eye of Ukraine. What?
After they're done with it, yeah.
Like it's the Jupiter. Like it's, anyway.
The IIJA is a complex piece of legislation, and the spending will be spread out over a number of different areas. And here's a breakdown of where the big spending will be going. $650 billion to roads and bridges, including $200 to fix the nation's most structurally deficient bridges. Important. Again, broken down over 8 years. $100 billion in public transit, including $7.5 to replace the nation's aging fleet of buses and trains. That's important. We should be doing that. It'll invest $65 billion in broadband internet, including $10 billion to provide high-speed internet to rural areas. Haven't we already been doing that, like, since the Obama era? More water infrastructure. $55 billion in water infrastructure, including $15 to replace lead pipes and $10 to improve water quality. How do they do that exactly? And how much are they giving to East Palestine? That's all I want to know. And then you have clean energy, which is the real boondoggle and the real Green New Deal bullshit thing. The IIJA will invest $65 billion, more than water, in clean energy, including $5 billion to build new electric vehicle charging stations. That's a whole grift and a whole bribery scam right there, which was to get the entire U.S. fleet to go electric, to get everyone to go electric. Only you have to burn just as much coal to make the electric, and our infrastructure grid can't handle everybody going electric, but I digress. And again, $2 billion to develop carbon capture and storage technology, because Al Gore had to get his little CCS in from the original Man, Bear, Pig movie.
How dare you?
Oh, well. After Greta met this week with Zelensky, I don't want to hear a word out of her. So there are pros.
How dare you?
Yeah. So the IIJA has a number of potential benefits, both for the economy and for the quality of life of Americans, which is a good thing. Again, Matt he's looking at this objectively. Is that for economically, the investment in infrastructure is likely to have a positive impact on the economy. It'll create jobs, boost productivity, and improve the efficiency of the economy. Additionally, the bill will help to reduce the country's reliance on foreign imports, which could save businesses money in the long run. So, of course, the Republicans are going to block all of this. You realize this, right? Quality of life benefits. So the IIJA will improve the quality of life for Americans in a number of ways. This sounds like it was almost written by ChatGPT. The investment in roads and bridges will make it easier for safer to travel, while investment in public transit will make it easier for people to get to work and school. The investment in broadband internet will improve access to education, healthcare, while investment in clean energy will reduce pollution and create jobs in the clean energy sector. It's a jobs program. Mm-hmm. Well, I think we have other jobs that we could probably invest in, like more doctors, nurses, residents, etc. There will also be construction companies, infrastructure companies, and many other stocks that will receive big government contracts over the next 8 years to complete these infrastructure projects. And on Thursday, he's going to be sending out one to their premium subscribers about those. And this is a paid Substack. And of course, there are some potential drawbacks like the cost, the complexity, political opposition. What would be the impact on the economy? Okay, the investment in infrastructure will create jobs, boost productivity, like they said. It will help reduce the country's reliance on, this is just repeated. According to a study by Brookings, it could create up to 2.7 million jobs. That's a neolib outlet. IIJA is also likely to have on trade balance positive impact because it'll be easier and cheaper to transport goods and services, which could help to reduce the trade deficit. Okay, yeah, this is all about geometry. This is a ChatGPT written article in this case, but according to a study by the American Society,
are you sure?
It sounds like
Are you sure?
Of civil engineers, the United States has a $2.6 trillion backlog of infrastructure projects. So let's give them $1.2 trillion. This backlog includes projects such as roads, bridges, water systems, and public transit. This will help to address the backlog, which will improve the quality of life for Americans. Wow, that's...
And partner this with this Gray Zone article we did not that long ago, which you were on INN News for. where all of our money is going.
The gravy train.
Yeah.
All right, so
it's like while we have that backlog of things we need to be doing,
So one of the other things that that this covers is the government contracts out there, like who's getting awarded contracts by whom, and you can look into these and be like, Ford was awarded 2 contracts and GM was awarded a contract just last week by the GSA. I wonder what that was about. And you can actually go to the GSA website and look that stuff up. Illumina awarded a contract by the Department of Agriculture. And again, all this is provided by QuiverQuant, which I know...
Illumina?
Illumina, yes. They make...
the Illuminati.
The Illuminati. I believe they make refractive lenses of some kind, or solar stuff, maybe. All right, but then you have the leaders.
Those lenses are making the friggin' frogs gay.
The leaders in government lobbying over the last 90 days, and I think you'll see some pretty familiar names there.
Yep. Huntington Ingalls.
Anything jump out at you? I see Meta.
Comcast.
How about number 3?
Amazon.
Yep. Lobbying $5.5 million over the last 90 days. Lobbying the government. Mm-hmm. Yep. So Matt gives you Meta, his Instagram, TikTok, DOA. Twitter. I like this, again, I don't necessarily subscribe to the stock advice that they give, and they do give all kinds of disclaimers, and when it comes to that, I know they do give some stock advice there. I mostly look at it for the follow the money and for the analysis and for the raw data that comes out of that. I think that he's provided some really interesting insights. So I've got one.
You know the thing.
Yeah. All right, before I get to that story, hang on. Man, I got something caught in my throat tonight. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, let's see what chat is doing. Wow, everybody's buzzing. All right. Hey. What? That's what? I just heard some music.
Yes, you did.
It was her music.
Do you know what music? You recognize that music?
Well, I certainly recognize that music. That's Jessie Jet, actually, as a matter of fact. So Tara is staying in Russia, and Tara wrote an article this week, and I figured I would read it for her. And not many people have been talking about it and shouting her out and talking about what's happening to her over there. So I know she wanted to write this. So let's get over to RT, which is where she wrote this op-ed this week. All right. So here we go. Tara Reade, Biden accuser, explains why she decided to flee the U.S. and seek sanctuary in Russia. And what's really funny is, full circle, I think one of the first times we read a Tara article, it was for RT, and it was right after she had joined INN. So that was in November of 2021. Yep. So she says, I thought I was going to Moscow for a week, and now it seems I'm here for the long haul. So what do we mean? Well, she says, my plan was to oversee the translation of my book, stay in Moscow for a week, and do an interview with Russia's Channel 1. Then I was going to go home. So much for that. Later this summer, I was supposed to testify before U.S. Congress about President Joe Biden's actions towards me and the weaponization of the Department of Justice, best laid plans, and all that. A few days after my arrival, I found myself giving a press conference stating that I could not go back to the U.S. This is because I could face charges and possible indictment for an ominous menu of kangaroo court offenses, including sanctions violations, FARA violations, and any number of other things. So there's a sealed DOJ indictment against me, and I still don't know what that's about. My human rights attorney warned me that under current U.S. law, I could have sealed charges I'm unaware of until taken into custody. A sitting U.S. congressman said that he feared for my physical safety if I come back to the U.S. She says, I decided to stay and get help from Maria Butina, a Russian State Duma member, in applying for asylum. Maria knew the terror and the grim reality of being in U.S. prisons, having spent 15 months locked up for allegedly acting as an unregistered foreign agent. They kept her in solitary confinement for months and made her life a living hell. You can actually see Tara's interview. She did several of them on INN, on Politics of Survival. Yet, Maria maintained her compassion and care for ordinary Americans and saved her anger for those in charge who caused her misery. Maria had been on my podcast several times, and we discussed the two-tier American justice system and its brutal use of torture. Right? Maria remained steadfast in her friendship, helped her navigate shell shock as she felt toward her own government, that she felt as her own government had turned on her because she was telling the truth. First few days after Tara decided to stay in Moscow were a blur of phone calls and paperwork as she navigated her new state of being. She said painful goodbyes to her daughter as she sobbed on the phone, and she was left dealing with packing up Tara's apartment and organizing care for her 3 cats. Shout out to Che. And a horse.
Yep.
Charm.
Yep.
Her daughter was amazing and efficient, even as our emotions were running high. And it was done. I was staying in Moscow with no plans to return to the U.S., at least not while Biden remains in power. My heart remained broken as I saw headlines calling me a traitor. How was I the traitor? Biden raped me, silenced me, and is now preventing me from testifying. The dizzy feeling as I now saw each major news outlet weigh in settled into a despair that I was never going to really be heard. However, something that stayed with me was that I felt safe in Russia. I felt seen, heard, and respected. The first time I saw Moscow, I had 16 hours of jet lag and had been awake for 24 hours. The early morning red streaks across the sky brought me wide awake, and I knew I would not sleep. Instead, I would meet the day and see Moscow in all its grandeur. I've traveled to many places in most major cities in the U.S., and Moscow stands out as one of the most beautiful, cleanest cities I've ever seen. The streets bustling with locals and tourists seemed untouched by the Western sanctions. The only telltale signs of the Western company's departures were some closed designer stores and the replacement of Starbucks with the Russian-owned equivalent simply Stars, and the barista lady much less brash and more modest than I'm used to. That night I slept the deepest sleep I'd known in a very long time, and I finally felt safe. Tara says, I'm an American who grew at a time when the United States was engulfed in leftover innocence on the domestic front while engaging in predatory foreign adventures. The neoliberal woke agenda had not yet taken hold, and crony capitalism was just building to its disastrous crescendo. Like many of my generation, I was shiny with ambitious hope. I went to work for some of the most politically powerful figures in Western politics, Leon Panetta, and then later Joe Biden. The rest is, as they say, history, with her coming forward about the latter's misconduct in 1993, and then 2019, and again in 2020. The result of my audacity in calling out the crimes of an elite Democrat were swift and brutal. I lost everything, and my reputation took a battering, as Biden's political machine, aided by the corporate media, destroyed my credibility. I was even threatened with prison, not once but twice. As Biden continued to weaponize his DOJ and FBI against me, and others deemed me a political enemy, I continued to speak out, write a book, and even start a podcast. Again, Tara says, I always had a special place in my heart for Russia. The Russophobia and bigotry in the Western media against Russians was very disturbing to me. Then it became flat-out xenophobia. The playbook used by the elite to manipulate the press was the same, whether going after individuals like me that were whistleblowing corruption or whole nations like Russia. This method is used to vilify, isolate, and finally replace the truth with a state-approved narrative. And we've certainly been talking about narratives and implementing narratives. So Tara says that I've decided to take back control and held a press conference to proudly declare my intentions to stay in Russia. I got myself some amazing human rights lawyers who took my case under their wing and sorted through the international implications. And recently, the Russian Federation granted me temporary asylum, so I've decided to stay. And we miss Tara. We love Tara.
Yep.
And we're going to be doing the Politics of Survival this week on INN. So she will be back doing her podcast, which she referenced. So if you look, there's actually a profile here.
You can find Tara Reade's work at tarareadpodcast.com.
Right there, tarareadpodcast.com. Why isn't it working? Well, there's also link tr.ee/Tara Reade.
Yep.
Oh boy, looks like I got to message a friend. Tell them the websites are down again. So here's Tara's links, all things Tara Reade. Check that out. Support our friend Tara. Take care of our friend. We miss you. We'll see you soon. Everybody tuned in this week. Probably sometime on Friday. We're trying to work out the logistics. I think she's got a couple guests lined up. That's to choose for which one's going to be available and when. But we're going to be doing that this week for sure. All right. So, all right. That wasn't terrible. Thank you, Miguel. Appreciate that.
That's a great energy. Just real good energy.
It wasn't terrible. On time, I meant.
It wasn't terrible.
I was looking
it
at
wasn't completely awful and crap.
Sorry, everyone. I was looking at I was looking at the clock, saying that wasn't terrible because I thought I was running real long, and then we just kind of made that story relatively quick, and we're out by 11:30, which is what I really want to be. I want to start getting to.
Well, we're not out, but
no, I just meant out of stories and into brain bleach. So
my car.
Yeah, get into my yeah. Oh God, it's been a hell of a week. Yes, there will be Boats Tonight Gamer. So yes, everybody was a little confused. I explained it last week, but let me explain it again. We are rerunning. We are going to run Boats. This segment of Boats that we're going to do now soon as its own show. We did this last Friday night, and everyone seemed to have a good time with it. And I was like, we've been doing this every week, and if you don't come and watch the live stream, you wouldn't even know that we do this every week. So we decided to clip it out, put a little intro and an outro on it, and run it as a live stream because we have the ability with our software to do that. And thank goodness we can. It was great. We had a good time. People had fun in chat. There was at least 15, 16, 18 people watching it live the whole time. And yeah, come if you miss it on Sunday night, you can tell people, hey, you don't have to necessarily go back to the live stream. You can just watch it when they run it live. Now this week, because Tara's going to go live on Friday, I think we're going to move Boats to Tuesday night. It's July 4th. Jesse and I are not going to do a show, and we really didn't have anything scheduled for live for Tuesday night. So we're going to move Boats to Tuesday night for this Tuesday night only. And then we're likely going to keep it Friday nights, 10 o'clock, because it's a good entrance into the weekend, I think. So,
okay. I mean, we also have a backlog of boats you could grab too, but
I do, but I actually have to edit and make those in order to do that, and figure I'll just do that with this week. And yes, we can certainly do that. Reef actually has a Rumble channel that has like 20 or 30 different segments of boats that I started doing that and making him a channel, and nobody was watching it and he wasn't sharing it. So I just kind of gave up, kind of stopped because it was time. Got other stuff to do, doing network and other shows. And we got more stuff we're working on. Angel Rivera, who may or may not be in chat. Shout out to Angel on INN.
American Tradition Friday then.
It's an American tradition.
Yeah, well, I don't know if Jesse's necessarily available for that, but that would be cool.
Or if Michigan isn't on fire.
I'm on fire! Yeah. I'm on fire, Ricky. You're not on fire, Ricky Bobby. So
help me, Tom Cruise.
Help me, Tom Cruise. Oh, you know what?
Why do we keep referencing this?
Because I love Ricky Bobby. But before we go to boats, I did have one thing that I did want to show, which was Joe. Our friend Joe made a Powerless 2.0 version. Let's do it this way. And you should be able to hear this.
And where was I? I was busy cashing every blue check, demonstrating plainly all the narratives expected from the verified. I was busy breeding verbal leeches by the terabyte. Train them to exsanguinate the wealthy while they sleep at night. Bleed the oil barons dry and barren. Say they showed us how to share and now we share alike. Tell them I contracted rabies from a feral mic. Now I'm just another species losing sleep to noise pollution and these glaring lights. Forced to change its habits and adapt to just survive. But now it's safe to say that some of us are thriving in the moment, throwing shit on presidential homes beneath the Paris skies. So if you feel like you're just powerless, I guess you bought the lie. But I can tell they're petrified of our collective might, 'cause I can hear those gentrifiers weeping at the sight of our collective rights. And I only can imagine the intensifying fear of knowing revolution's near. And all that's left to do is simply wallow in the thick anticipation of the rabid bite. And baby, one day you can ask your leaders just what that was like before you grab a slice. So if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. Honey, if you think you're powerless, allow me now to change your mind. See them, pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, and tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark because you aren't. Because we aren't. You see they'll pay you hourly, tax them each apart, and make you build a shining tower out of loopholes and cards, where they'll tell you that you're powerless to keep you in the dark because you aren't. Because we aren't. Wait!
Shout out to Joe for making that video. Wow.
Yep.
Powerless. We are not powerless, as Joe is showing, and the people of Paris are showing. So, damn. Paris, and from what I was reading, Belgium, parts of Belgium, as well as Switzerland were also burning. So, wanted to bring that to everyone. Yes, that is from Talladega Nights. That Help Me Tom Cruise, and we do that all the time. But yes, let them eat boats.
Yeah.
White Gladys. That's right. Shout out to our friend, the White Gladys. All right, so let's get to...
That's a great, that's a t-shirt.
Right, let them eat boats.
Just have little orcas on them.
That is awesome, Miguel.
I'm going to make that.
I love it.
It's going to be good.
All right, let's do it.
And I watch mindless shit. Boats that smash into other boats.
Yay, it's boats time.
Yay, I can stop talking.
No, you won't.
It's time!
It's time for boats. I hope everyone enjoys boats. Look, it's a boat.
Careful, please.
Uh-oh.
Really careful. Not yet.
Roger. Oh. It's a wet kitty.
Roger.
Careful, please.
Is that a kitty?
That would be on OnlyFans.
Really careful. Not yet. Roger.
It is a kitty.
It's a WAP.
Roger.
It's a wet-ass P-word.
Yeah. Yep. Ben Shapiro here, everyone. Say hi. All right. This is, look, another boat. Kayak. Kayak counts as a boat.
Yes.
Uh-oh. You gotta go. Let's go.
Dude, just...
Sit down. Sit down.
You're fine. Put your butt first. Yeah.
Oh, he's going right in the water. Yep. That was easy.
That was easy.
That's what she said.
Here. That's what she said. Let me show you something. Doing. Okay, you ready for this one? Holy shit. All right. This one's wild.
Here we go, here we go, here we go!
Whoa! Hey, dude, you know what's really funny is I used to do wake jumping like that on a wave runner type of Sea-Doo, and damn, I never ended up upside down like that shit. Damn! Woo!
Dude, they fucking slammed into each other.
That was awesome. I love it.
Hello, computer. It's gonna be okay.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
It's not me. Nice.
Here you go. Look how ridiculous. Like, what is that? And where can I get one?
Damn. It's like a vacuum.
Like, maybe. Speaking of vacuums, last weekend at Goodwill.
I'll take it.
$12.99.
I'll take it. All you need is the attachment and the bags.
Oh my god! I will give them like a $5 tip on top of that.
That's a that's a $500.
You mean those bags?
That's a $500 volcano, by the way.
Vape. Yeah. $12.99. If it came with the bags for $12.99, that's a like amazing deal. Scoop that right on up.
Yeah, screw. That's right. That's a fucking volcano is right.
Here you go. Look at this. This is from @Dangle Supply. You can get one. There we go. No music. Thank you. Look at that, dude.
Oh, bro. The travel bong I never knew I wanted or needed, except don't put it through TSA because it's all metal.
Please tell me it's vacuum insulated. Please tell me it's vacuum insulated.
Of course it's
that would be amazing.
For indestructible and rips. Dude, 5-hole bowl.
5-hole bowl.
I have one of those in glass.
Indestructible.
It literally is like exactly what I have, but glass, except for that coffee mug handle, which is a great idea for travel.
Coffee mug handle.
That's not a boat.
Yeah, I mean,
no, Mouse, but it could be used on a boat.
Yeah. This might be on a boat. You ready?
Uh-oh. Oh.
No.
I sent that to you this week.
You motherfucker. Motherfucker. Why'd you drop it like that?
Bro, but the worst part is his weed is sitting on the table. It fell out of the out of the bowl before he even put it in there and knocked it.
Nope.
Yeah, that's how you know you're having a bad day. You're gonna have a bad time. Yeah, just put it all down. Yeah.
Just time to quit.
Oh.
What do you do after smoking this?
Nappy.
Nappy. I mean, that looks pretty good. Not gonna lie. Oh, look. We got you some protection, Indy. Oh, what's that in there?
Hey. Oh, and it's a lighter on top of it. Nice.
Like, that's just cool. You know? I mean, it's going to be tough getting that into the concert, but, you know.
What do you mean? I'm packing. Come on. It's not real. It's not really a gun.
Concealed concealed carry, bro. Don't worry about it.
Right?
You know? All right, here we go. I know you got the munchies now, so we got to take care of that. You ready?
I do. Oh, no. Oh, my God.
Stuffed with rice.
What in the Sam Hell? I'm watching the chat. You have to look at the chat.
Calzone.
Dongs for all is right, Mastermind Hour. That's what it looked like to me. What is that? Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Please, sir. May I view another tweet?
Thank you, Elon.
Please. Please, Elon. Yeah. All right. Here we go.
So dumb.
We got some dad zone. You ready?
Oh yeah, let's do this. Oh my god. How old is this?
You okay?
Yeah. He's okay.
You okay?
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah.
You good, dude. Your arms okay? Your legs, your head?
Yeah.
Give me some knuckles. That's how you do it.
That's how you do it.
Nice.
That's how you do it.
Roll cage.
That's the best.
That's awesome.
That's how you do it.
That is a
your
southern
head good,
daddy.
your legs good.
That
Yeah,
is a southern daddy,
dude,
right
that's
there.
great.
Yes,
it is. That's what I'm talking about. Here you go. Kids trying to ding dong ditch it. Your house, Indy. What do you do?
Come
here.
Just chase after him?
What? Yeah.
Come here.
The child screams are the best.
That's definitely my kid.
Is it? Here you go. How about this one? I literally don't understand when parents say kids are such a blessing. They're so rewarding when this is what mine are like.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't blame her.
To erect the structure on a solid base. There was an attempt.
It is a very spankable hiney, but that's another story. Yeah, she did let that happen. That's right, Team Orca. I'm gonna chalk that up to mommy allowing that and tolerating that.
Spooky. Oh man, that sand is going places you do not want.
Yep.
This one is. I just feel like you can empathize with this. You know, like you're trying to feed the baby, but something ain't working.
Tired.
Oh shit.
Wait.
Oh fuck. All right. I'm just gonna give up.
That is what tired baby brain does to you.
Yeah. Loads of poppers. And a sea poppers. Wee. Wee.
I'm gonna eat you. I'm gonna eat you.
Wee.
Aww.
Also, dolphins should be in the ocean, but you know.
Yeah, not a tank that small. For sure.
But then the puppers, when they try to play with the dolphin in the ocean.
Oh, no, Milan, no! Milan, get over here! Milan, no!
Eli, no!
Elon?
No, Eli. Eli.
Oh, no, Eli, get over here. Eli, no.
I heard Milan.
Elon, Eli. That dog changed 3 names.
That's Miguel heard Elon.
I need.
Nice.
I feel like this is useful.
Don't do meth.
I like it. Don't do meth. Look, it's Kitty. Ready? Choo choo. This is how East Palestine happened. No.
Oh God.
Down goes the train. Train goes down.
Solidarity with the people of East Palestine.
That's not funny.
I can't even laugh at my life.
Yes, you can.
We're all being poisoned.
You can laugh. It's okay. They're gonna have to.
Doofus.
You know.
Oh, I'm gonna bite your head off.
Dude.
That is brave. I'm just gonna leave you there. Bye.
Wow.
Jesus.
I don't like it.
Do not want.
I don't like it.
Nope.
Do not want. This is you at like 1 or at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon with the wife.
Or any minute that I sit down.
Yeah. Oh God.
Like the eyes just start closing.
I could just go sleepies right now.
Oh, that's just adorbs.
Oh, I could sleepies. I could sleepies.
She's cracking up. Look at mommy. I'm not sleeping. I see. I'd say. I know I'm gonna get it. I know you're gonna hit me. Down, doggy down, Puppers down.
Puppers down.
In case nobody knows what Indy sounds like when he's snoring, Reef has that all taken care of for you.
I do, but I had to go up here to do it.
Ugh.
And it's one of these. There we go. What?
That is
Speaking of Indy.
Allegedly. Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's so cute.
Oh my God.
Look at them. Look at the floofers. Love it so much.
The music that's getting
I know.
You know that's totally going to be the one that gets copyright. Oh yeah, by the way, we have to play a new game this week, and it's called What Will Get Us Copyright Claimed? Because every week we get hit, but we never know what it's going to be. I think it was that one with the music for the music.
Yep. If Trump was a dog.
That was a funny bunny. That was a cute bone-and eating bunny.
Maybe it's Maybelline. This looks like a hair commercial, you know? Dude, birds are way too smart. Have you realized this?
Oh. What? Come on. Orange Dog band. Yeah, Mastermind.
To the Megyn Kelly Show. Your home for open, honest, and
Get the fuck.
Look at Megyn Kelly. No, fuck Megyn Kelly.
No,
Birds are better.
No corporate media. No corporate media here.
What are you doing? I love it so much. He's like, nah, fuck that. Bring back the birds.
That's awesome. Oh my god. That's incredible. How does it know?
That's great. I don't know.
How's it able to...
Like, no, I don't want to watch pathologist nonsense. Give me bird.
Back to bird. I love the swipe.
Look, that's a bird.
So impressive.
Oh, the more birds.
That bird is hella smart, Miguel. That is right. Damn, that's insane.
Uses tech better than my parents.
Uses tech better
crazy?
than some of the people that we talked to this week, by the way. I'm not gonna name any names, but you know who you are. And I love you.
Look, you're ready for the jump scare? Everyone's favorite kind of scare. A jump scare. And action.
Tired of your shit.
Just straight down.
Kitty.
Mew.
Bye.
I just want to like, can I get it like
kitty exit? Meow. Like at the moment that the kitty's like right in front of you like that. Meow.
Just a blur.
Spread eagle.
Ooh wee. Oh. Anyway, sorry.
.com already clipped out the cannabis gate from tonight's show and put it in the Discord.
Nice.
Independent.gg if you want to check that out. That's really great.
Oh, poppers. You can't have chicken.
Oh,
chicken behind the dome.
That's the Costco
dome
roaster, $5.99.
Yeah. $5.99.
They literally had to stop buying from Purdue because
torture.
They needed too many chickens. Oh, that's so wrong. Yeah. Dog just I'm gonna lick it. I'm gonna lick it. I'm gonna lick it some more. Maybe I get to it. Maybe I lick right through the plastic.
Here you go. Watch this crazy adventure. Dog's trying to warn you, lady.
Hey, sit, cushy. Jesus, cushy. Quiet.
Oh, soda all over the table.
Oh no, the laptop. Not the laptop. Save the laptop. Oh my god.
Look at him chase that bird the hell out of there. R.I.P.
I know.
laptop.
Good for you, puppers.
Rip laptop. Bye, bird.
Oh, the bird's out. Get the door.
Thomas said, "Okay, my job
Close
is done
the door."
Here. Wow.
Close the door.
Oh shit, we're still recording.
that face is the best part of the video.
Oh shit. This has been recording the whole time. Years from now, this will be funny, I promise.
What?
That bird owed her more than the one that owned Trump. Squirrel.
What?
Okay, I'm gonna call copyright infringement.
For what?
stealing
That's
my
not your snore. That's the squirrel, bro.
I know that. I was just fucking
That's
with
the
you.
squirrel's little, like...
I know.
Anger noise.
Tired of your shit? Don't touch my nuts. That's right, Mastermind. Don't touch my nuts.
This is my house. He wears a CPAP at night.
You gotta clean those things really thoroughly, otherwise they get bacteria in them.
Yep.
Why are you doing this?
Because I'm hungry.
Why am I doing anything, Deborah?
Now I'm
Why is life?
Bah! Come on, do it. Do it. You know you want to.
Nope. That's it.
No, that's it?
He just contemplated life. Why am I doing this, Deborah? Oh my god, mouse work.
Oh my
Why?
god. Batteries. Oh, dude.
It's not even, it's wired.
Raggy? Raggy?
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
I saw part of this. I saw part of this.
Oh. I just love that guy.
He was trapped in there.
Ta-da!
That's like Harry Potter picture frame.
Just cutums.
Adorbs.
Yep. Look. Battle of the Century.
Oh shit.
Do 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 do. Dude, that crawfish is gonna get him. Get him, crawfish.
Go mud bugs.
Go mud bugs. Your Frenchie doesn't want to go to sleep.
Puff, your Frenchie doesn't want to
It's
go
time
to
to go to
sleep.
sleep. Stop. Okay. No more playing anymore for you tomorrow.
That's what I
What did I
thought too,
tell
gamer.
you?
I thought it was a scorpion.
I told you no. I'm sorry.
Wow. Nice.
It's like your kid when they go to sleep.
Yes.
Here you go. You like this one.
Leave a boo
Move, fat
alone.
boy. I'm trying to exercise. Shoot, what's up?
Come here.
Why?
Come on, let's go.
Where?
Let's go for a walk.
Where we going? Where we going?
We're gonna walk.
That's okay.
Come on.
I'm good. We got the AC on and everything.
Boo Boo got sick of you.
Sick of what?
Boo Boo sick of you anyway. Come on.
Boo Boo need to be sick of being fat.
Zomi.
Hold on, let me do my stretches. I'm almost done.
Zomi.
I stayed up trying to do my stretches. Okay, I'm done. What do you want? Why you keep bothering me? I'm trying to get my exercise on. I don't want to be fat like Boo Boo. I gotta get over there and finish what I started.
Come on, Psycho.
Psycho. Oh, I can't believe she just called me Psycho, y'all. Y'all heard her call me Psycho. Psycho, because I'm trying to stay alive and be able to get my exercise again. Look how fat Boo Boo is. I ain't trying to be like Boo Boo, y'all. She want me to be like Boo Boo.
Holy shit, that's really funny.
Move out my way, Boo Boo. Look how fat
Move out my way, Boo Boo.
Ah, shut up!
Oh shit. At Snuggly Tales on Instagram, by the way. That's
so
really
good.
funny. Really funny.
It's really good. How about this? Is this funny?
Do not want.
Is this funny to you?
Dun dun dee, dun dun dee, dun dun dee, dun. Son dun dee, dun dun dee, dun dun dee, dun. What the fuck?
Fuck, dude.
Wow.
Why?
They're organized.
Why
would you piss them off like that? Yeah, I'm like itching too. Zombie in the air. Yep, makes me itch. That's right. Kill your egregores. Raid. Yep. Wow.
Can I
get a witness?
New sport for you to play, Indy.
It's like basketball.
You're gone. See ya. Throw it around. Oh, fuck. We're bonding. Whoa. Get out of my way.
This racket is a little smaller than I'm used to. Oh, that's on.
You're gone. See ya.
Oh, dude. That's accurate.
How good is that?
Pretty good.
What would you base racquetball? Indy, as this dude's legal advisor, can you help this guy out?
To be honest with you. I'm being honest with you, dude. This is gonna go a lot easier if you're honest. And I will, yeah, dude.
Meth?
What are you on right now, man? Cloud nine. What? Cloud nine? No, what are you on right now? You gotta be honest. I'm on one, dude. You know? What are you on right now, man? TikTok. What? Instagram. All of them. I'm on all of them. I'm not talking about your ads. Drugs. Sure. If you got some. Yeah, I'm down. You guys partying? Yeah, dude. Step out of the car.
Yeah.
Step out of the car.
You guys partying? I like to party. Oh my god. That's great.
This is copy. And this is paste because I had to take something out of that for later. Enter. Watch this, homie.
What?
Sound off. Play. Look at this. Look at the moves.
Wait, what?
How they do that?
He was already upside down. How is he doing a handstand against his boy?
That's two people. And then he just hit the moves on all of them, bro. You don't even know.
Mastermind hour. The fat boys are back. Fat boys.
The fat boys are back. And action.
3 things I wish I knew when I was 19, now that I'm 26. Number 1. Listen to me, 19-year-old self, we don't have much time. On August 24th, 2021, you're going to go into a shop in Soho. I can't remember the name. It's not important now. You're going to see a blue wrap skirt. You're going to think that's so cute. I need that. And you're going to buy it. Don't. You understand? Listen to me. Don't buy the skirt. Not even a month later, you're going to be crossing a busy intersection. Your arms are full and you're wearing that stupid godforsaken skirt you just had to buy. Hundreds of cars are waiting at this light. Hundreds. They go all the way back. And across the crosswalk, 19 construction workers guarding a manhole for no reason are just waiting for you to come across. My moment. Everyone's looking. Let me cross like Carrie Bradshaw in Sex and the City. Juggling 2 packages, you confidently cross the road and for no reason whatsoever, at a random act of violence, your skirt unties itself. It just falls away. That's right. You're standing there in front of all New York City like Squidward, just a shirt on. I know you're thinking, oh, well, maybe I played it off. No. You panic, freeze, and howl like a coyote. I don't know why. You go to pick up your skirt, your packages fall everywhere. The wind blows your skirt farther from you. Don't buy the skirt. Anyways, I can't remember the 2 other things that I wanted to tell you.
Just don't buy the skirt.
Good luck.
Good luck. 19-year-old self, don't do that. I love that video so much.
Sure.
You're gonna like this one. You're gonna like the way you look. Ready?
Hardcore parkour! Oh, yo! Fuck!
That sucks. Here we go. Look, it's Tony Soprano.
No, that's Tony Montana.
Tony Montana.
I'm supposed to hurt my feelings, saying I'm not funny. Okay, if I could see you, all right, let me see. Okay, oh, the person from Germany doesn't like the Nazi jokes. The Germans, historically known for being patient. They don't got no comedy clubs in Germany. What's the material going to be like at a German comedy club? Knock, knock, who's there? Doesn't matter, opens the door, now! Why did the chicken cross the road? He was following orders!
He was following orders.
Don't worry, one more insult. I'll give you one more try.
You're not funny. See?
Efficient. They're efficient.
All she did was re-release the first album.
All she did was re-release the first album.
Nice.
Oh my god, dude.
Very clever heckle. What's up, Dave? Bert?
Very clever.
Over in the rocks.
Yeah.
He's still with us.
Here we go.
LOLing.
There you go.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think that they were expecting to splash, and they splat. That wasn't a splash, that was a splat.
There you go.
Oh,
dude.
Bro.
Dude.
Bro.
That dude fucking landed hard.
Bro, my back hurts from that.
I hope they're okay.
He's okay, maybe.
So, watch this nonsense. So, the delivery by a motorcyclist takes a slice out, right? And then, like, origamis this nonsense back together. Like,
to make it an
to form like
pizza.
yeah.
Dude, gotta give him credit for that. Wow.
Like,
wow. Yeah, Cornell West approves.
Cornell West approves.
There was pineapple and pepperoni on that pizza.
And that's how this guy's saving the planet, you know?
One slice at a time. He's feeding himself.
Yep.
Oh no.
You
It's a
remember
skin
this?
suit. Oh no, it's another skin suit.
You remember this? I just wanted you to see the other suits. Look at the skin suit. Why is it so weird? It's so weird.
Oh my
dude.
god, it's so weird.
But look at these other nonsense. We got this guy. Like, what is this? He's just holding the telephone. That's fashion, I guess. Dude. All right, can I use my mouse, please?
What?
Thank you.
Hell?
Jet startup claims it'll be able to fly people from New York to London in 90 minutes with hypersonic jet.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not signing up for that.
Yeah. Look at what they did though. They made it a vacuum.
Oh god.
Like they turned it into a vacuum. Whee!
Is it called the Titan by any chance?
Yeah, no, it's called the can you read backwards?
The Destinus.
The Destinus?
Yes.
Oh, I could do that.
No, now it's backwards. It wasn't before.
Destinus.
No, you were backwards
Okay.
before. Now it's now there you go. You're good.
Okay. Sure. It was backwards on the thing I'm looking at. So, hoping what?
My desk.
Pillar?
My sit-stand desk didn't just go kaput because it's going down. That's not good.
Okay.
I don't know why.
Here you go.
What is wrong with you? Get in your car, dude. Get in your car! I'm in my car. That's fair.
That's fair. That's fair. That's fair. What is wrong with you? Here you go. Look. You remember this. You could use that controller they found on the Titan on this bad boy. I kind of want one.
That's pretty cool.
I kind of want one.
That's kind of cool. What's up, cookies?
And then what you do is you set up like a projector on the other side to actually play PlayStation games. You know?
Ooh, while you're sitting in the hot tub.
That would be dope.
Sure.
Oh yeah. Yeah, just waterproof controller, you'll be all right. The Titan had one of those. You know? What do you do for work?
What do you do for work? I'm an executive food concierge for a multi-million-dollar international hors d'oeuvre service. Whoa. What's the name of your company? Dior Dichet. Are you saying DoorDash? That is one way of...
That is one way of pronouncing it.
Dior Dichet.
Dior Dichet. Yep. International hors d'oeuvres. So what? Okay. This is called Entropy Always Wins.
Ow.
Why'd he do that? What did he think was going to happen? Like,
not that. I guess would be not that.
Well. Look, you know this guy.
Uh-oh.
At some point, safety just is pure waste.
No thanks. I choose life.
No thanks. I choose life.
It's fucked up.
No thanks. I choose
life. Yes. That's a sloth.
Yep.
That's a sloth.
The
From Ice
sloth.
Age. From Ice Age. Charlie Leguizamo. Incredible.
There we go. Look. it's Subnautica, bro. We'll play some Subnautica.
Nice.
You know, with the Logitech. Like, dude, I kind of want one now. I kind of want to buy one. Just to have one.
I had
you
one.
know?
I had a black Logitech controller like that. Somewhere.
Yeah.
I have it. It's probably in a box somewhere in my house.
I mean, I feel like you could have controlled the sub better with this. You know?
He's angry.
Like, yeah, because he's on caps lock, bro. Of course he's angry. You know? He's all caps. Let me refresh this one.
Oh.
Like,
Bap.
can I get a zoom?
Bap.
Oh, fuck.
Is that like...
It's like those jet skis.
Is that like a joust?
I don't know. I don't think they meant to do that.
A joust gone wrong. Oh my god, a koala mask.
Can you read that?
Nice.
Want to know how to get banned from Build-A-Bear in the mall for life?
Wear one as a skin suit.
This cool. Oh god. Oh dude, this is wild. Here you go. You ready?
Oh. That your neck is not supposed to do that.
Full scorpion. Just full scorpion on that one. Dude. This. A hamster in the driving wheel, and then you use a carrot to drive. Okay, but that's not all. All right, look at where you're driving.
What? But why?
Don't ask science questions, bro. Like,
wow.
Like, look at the hamster. Look at him. Look at him go. Yeah, I can do it. Just gotta get over here. Like, holy crap, dude. They're on like the world's most dangerous road. Like, ugh. Yep.
Yeah.
Hail science. Let's give this one a refresh.
Wow. Damn. Holy shit is right.
Fuck.
Might want to run.
Yep. Might want to.
Or anchor down.
Something. Anchor down, hunker down.
I said anchor. Anchor. Not an H. Anchor. A-N-C-H-O-R. Anchor.
So.
Paris?
Yes. But there's a motorcycle dragging a chainsaw that's on.
Like you do.
And he jumps over it.
Mm-hmm.
That.
Wow, you almost lost your feet, dude.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Crazy. How many fingers will I have left after the 4th of July? From Bang Bang, oh fucking fuck. The classic.
I think that might be
Seuss.
Cat in the Hat.
Yeah.
Is that Jesse Cat?
Maybe. Could be. Here you go. You know how we end things here.
My favorite. Oh, I sent you this. I think everybody saw this week.
Yep.
Happy July 4th, everybody.
You cannot stick it in the ground. It's not going to work.
Who did that?
You got to put it in the shoe.
Sorry to laugh at somebody's misfortune, but goddamn, man.
It's so funny, dude.
Folks. That's America. By the way, where's the Snow Himbo been tonight? I'm wondering where he's been. Brad. He's going to be pissed he missed all this.
He'll find it. Dude, hold on.
Wait,
Look,
what?
watch.
Did he use... What? He used a propane tank as a blowtorch? That's probably not a great idea.
Yeah. No.
That's probably not a great idea.
No. Should he French fried when he should have pizzaed?
I don't think he should have French fried or pizza, personally.
Ah, sweet Patty.
Oh, I can see that one. Holy shit! What?
Like, I think that looks very movie-esque. You know? Oh, how'd this get in here? This was supposed to be elsewhere.
Oh no! that definitely qualifies for ending with a bang. Oh my god! Oh, bap bap.
Oh, that sucks so much. All right, the one everyone wants to see.
All right. Vive la France.
So, here we go. Dude.
Wow.
No. Stay. Pharmacie d'Aragulance.
Damn.
Anyway. So yeah, there's boats. Hope everyone liked boats.
Yay. All right, everyone. So we got some links. Linktree's IndieLeft.media. But you can also go to linktr.ee/IndieLeft. I don't know what the heck's going on with our links. I got to reach our guy. IndependentLeft.shop. IndieMediaAwards.com. IndependentLeft.gg is the Discord. And then, of course, you got Indie Left Media, Indie Media Today. That's our Substack, and we're gonna get to that. IndieMedia.today is our Substack. IndependentLeft.gg gets Discord. INN Live is going to be every day this week live, sort of. And go to Substack.com/@Indie News Network to connect with us on Substack notes. But okay, so this week, tomorrow night, Crab and Chris are going to do Politically Homeless. Tuesday night, we're going to rerun.
He's homeless.
We're going to do boats, smashing into other boats as a show, and run that from 10 till about 11-ish. INN News.
Normally we'll be running those Friday, so if you ever miss boats from this week, you can catch them live Friday as well.
Wednesday night, INN News with Reef and Yeti Jesus will be sitting in for Colin, who's on vacation this week. Enjoy yourself down in Atlanta, Colin. Thursday night, we're going to have Bread and Circuses with Chris. Friday afternoon, Angel Rivera will be launching a new show. Rebranding and relaunching his show. It was called The Handsome Cynic. I'm not going to tell you what the new one is called, but we're going to be debuting that on Friday afternoon. At some point on Friday, Tara, The Politics of Survival, Tara Reade, our sister, will be coming back with another show, another interview Saturday night. Hopefully she feels better this week. Shout out to Comrade Misty. There was no bitch last night because she's been under the weather and puking her guts out for 36 hours. Hope she's feeling better. Last night we reran Angel's stream at night. It turned out to do better than when he was live, which is funny. And of course, next Sunday night at 10 o'clock, we'll be back here for How Do We Miss That? So check out the clips all week.
Yep.
Check out the Substack all week. That's what I had written down here. Tara will be sometime Friday. I don't know when exactly. We got to figure out what the logistics and the schedule of her being in Moscow, what exact time we're going to be able to do. But yeah, man, this was fun, and we're out right in about the right amount of time. Jilly Love, sorry you showed up a little late, but hopefully you can go back and watch. We did a few stories. We had some fun watching some cringe and some funny Reddit stuff with boats, smashing into other boats. And but yeah, so This has been episode 86. So 86 the 86. And I'm gonna say to keep questioning everyone's motivations, and I fucking hate it here.
Keep listening to what little birds have to tell you.
Mwah. Ciao, baby.
Julia.
Indie News Network, collaborative family of independent content creators. Co-hosted normally by me, Indie. I'm founder and editor of Indie Left News and Indie Media Today. I got Reef Breland sitting next to me.
At Kennedy News.
Is Andrew Rivera on The Handsome Cynic?
It's Politics and Survival.
My name is Jesse Jett.
It's American Tradition.
What's up, Space Monkeys? Welcome to Political Fight Club. I'm Robert Durden.
I mean, I mostly make art for INN.
Big Man Crab Joe. Keep up those great videos.
Hey guys, it's Yeti. Coming at you.
Hello, my name is Lucy from Blue Moon Red Wine.
This is Chris Legion.
Keep fighting that good fight out there, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Who are these people?
I think I liked it better being blind, when I couldn't read between the lines, and when I couldn't see the cracks in the structure that lay bare before me the whole time. I think I liked it better back when I suspended disbelief and swallowed pride. I thought I knew the difference in the red from the blue, but they both bleed us so dry. They both bleed us so dry. My favorite songs don't hit the same way. I get to the end of a 4-minute track and I'm only looking back thinking, what did